Howdy. Today we're going to be opening up some boxes. Actually I need to grab one more, but it's a bunch of stuff from Deatschwerks because I need to plumb everything, and we have fittings. Take this in here. So I've got some -8 PTFE line 10 and all the fittings. All that's to run the oil cooler and the new water feed for the turbo and return and everything. So that'll be getting everything plumbed up and everything good to go. The rest of the stuff I bought and is presents for myself to myself. So these are all things to make the car hopefully a little more reliable. So this one's already open. This is a 12-inch fan to go right onto the intercooler, and it's a Spall. And that was going to be reliable and work well and basically do everything I need it to do. So basically it's just going to go right on top. Brandon's here, by the way. So let's get this stuff out of the way. So this should fit directly on top and pretty much cover the whole radiator or intercooler. So there's a teeny tiny bit of overhang, but that should work really well. So go ahead and flip this around so the wiring's on the correct side. Air to air to air.
Air squared air cube.
So then that should go right through that vent right there and get all of the hot air out of the intercooler. Mainly that's just for when the car's sitting there idling in line and basically not having any air move across it, because I have a issue with heat soaking whenever I'm just sitting there. So that'll hopefully fix that issue. These little things, and they are in a bigger box than the Spall fan. There was no really like rhyme or reason for brands, so if you want to sponsor, hardware for it, actual brackets, if you want to do bolts, and then teeny tiny itty bitty fan. Little cute guy. Mostly got these because, well, it's a decent brand and they also pull very little amps. So these are mainly going to be used while the car is not moving. Same as that fan. And let me go grab one of the oil coolers. I grabbed one and then set it back down. So right over here is one of these guys. I've had these for quite a while. These are actually off of the RX-7 race car. These are his old ones. He upgraded, sold these to me really cheap. If you need any rotary parts, Frizz is a really good guy. That's where I get a lot of my hard parts for the engine. So this should go on here just like so. So it should sit just like that. And we're going to place those right into the little pocket. That's going to be right over here. So those should fit right in that little pocket, and basically get that oil cooler gone and get that airflow opened up mainly for the intercooler and radiator, so that way it doesn't have any interruption and not heating up some air before it gets to those two things. So and there's a few more things, but those are just quality of life. So we got this box that's just got a turbo blanket in here. That is a DEI. It's just a fairly decent turbo blanket, nothing special. But if you've seen in the last video or last few videos ago, I was at the event. I did not have a turbo blanket, so the engine bay temps were pretty hot. So trying to cut down on pretty much all of the temperatures get everything cooled down, so that way if I'm on track for an extended period of time, we're not worried about temps too much. So but with all the fans, I'm slightly concerned on charging, even though I have like a 130 amp alternator, and it's basically just running the motor. There's not really much else going on other than the fuel pumps. But the brushless fuel pump that's in the tank is running full open. There's no pressure really, so it shouldn't draw too many amps. I think like what?
7-ish,
yeah, 7 amps. There's a single 300 that's running at all times, even when I'm in
10, 12.
yeah, it's pulling 10, 12. So there's not a whole lot of things that are pulling amperage. I mean, it takes nothing to run coils. So yeah. So even with all the fans on and everything, the fan that's on this radiator is probably going to be the largest draw of anything that's on the car. So I think that one draws like roughly 8 to 10 amps when it's running. The turn on might be a bit more. So, and then the two small ones measured at 4 amps. So I just try to keep everything down so it's not a huge load on the car, because it kind of messes with tuning too if you don't have everything set right. So we have another box right here that is the key to making all of this work together. So I need a blade. There's one around here somewhere. Here we go. Little razor blade. So we'll open this up. And luckily, I was leaving work and the lady next door got this package for some reason and was nice enough to call me and say that she got it. So we've got two things here. We got this little bad boy. We'll move on to it in just a second. But this right here is the key to the puzzle. So to run the dual oil coolers, it is very important to run a thermostat. And the reason it's important is because if you run your oil temps too low, you will have really high oil pressures, really thick oil, and that'll cause issues. So this is an Earl's thermostat. It starts opening at 160, close, or full opens at 180. This thing is going to be a big part of making sure everything works properly. So these are -10 O-ring Boss fittings, and then we'll run these basically right on the frame rail somewhere where it's a little convenient to access. We'll see if we can stick it probably somewhere right in there. I think there's a bolt hole I see, which will be convenient to bolt this down. So hopefully right in there, and then we can run our lines out and over. We may have to do some thinking about how the fittings are ran.
If we do the tubs, it might be easier just to mount it to the tub.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, right here
There.
would be pretty good, because then we can go
We can put barrels in tubs.
straight down and yep. So well, this is one of the most exciting things I'm ready about, because that'll be nice. The OE oil cooler has a thermostat built into it, so, and most OE provisions are like that. Let's see here. This thing is more of a preventative maintenance, little K&N sock. So this little thing will just go onto the filter and keep stuff from getting in it. So hopefully this is big enough. I may have bought one too small. We'll stick it on there. I don't think I bought the right one.
It's not long enough.
What are you talking about?
Okay,
Perfect.
big prom night.
I've never had a boner that big. That is snug. That's perfect.
That's what she said. Cool. Now you don't have to pick 14 pounds of tire out of it.
Yeah. Because one thing we noticed is that if you actually properly oil these things, tire dust really sticks to it very well. So your filter gets full of tire dust. So I think that's everything. I'm going to start working on getting the turbo drain onto the turbo, and then we'll focus on running the coolant lines for the turbo. And what else? Looks like he's going to start working on mocking up tubs. There's some more cardboard.
You got a
Yeah, I've got a razor blade.
I got it.
But yeah, we're going to try to get the tubs in the car. They're not a massive priority, but they would be really nice to have to keep water out of the engine bay in case we run into rain or any inclement weather.
You're going to Florida, it's going to rain.
That's true.
Every morning it's going to rain.
So that's partially why I got the little sock for the filter, is to keep water out of the filter, keep it from picking it up. I actually like the way that fan looks there.
Mm-hmm. You just need to figure out how to put. Actually, you need to do a DD on the. Make it sense on the spring fan.
Yeah.
So you were going to do a big DD. Actually, that'd be cool to do the DD underneath the fan. So you just see it when it's soft.
When it's on.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you're right. You see it both.
I don't think you'd see it that well with it.
I mean, you can see it pretty good here.
That's a thought. We'll see. So, like I said, yeah.
Comment below if you like the idea.
So turbo drain first, and then we'll focus on everything else. Everything seems to hinge on the turbo drain actually working.
Yeah, if that does work, that's great.
Yeah, so we'll get the turbo mounted with the turbo drain, and then start working on the feed, which that should be really simple. I think I've got plenty of excess with my feed line right here to come over to it, so the drain and feed should be fine. Worst case scenario, I have to drive to Wichita this weekend in this car, which is like a 3-hour drive from here, basically with no boost. So unless I get it like decently tuned where we can kind of crack into it a little bit, but just enough to like pass someone on the highway, nothing crazy. So, oh boy, Drift Week's coming fast and I am not ready. So, all right, I'm gonna set you guys up on a tripod somewhere, start time lapsing. I've talked enough, and we're gonna get to it. Tripod. So we didn't get much done tonight. I really messed with the turbo like basically the whole time because one of the fittings, one of these, would not fit into the center cartridge. So I had to, see if you can kind of see it. One of them would go in because obviously it's a nice clear shot. The other side, completely different story. I ended up having to use one of the banjo bolts that was supplied and grind it down so that way it could clear this whole hot side, and I'm hoping that it doesn't leak around that copper washer. So, but we got the oil feed on as well as the waters and the oil drain. Had a tough time getting that on too. Had to do some clearancing. I had to slot those kind of bolt holes to make it fit onto there. But the biggest thing was I had to run one bolt because I could only get that in there. I couldn't run the other Allen head like I did on the other side. I don't really like it because it's not uniform, but it works, and it just ever so slightly clears. So this is about ready to go on the car. The only thing is I need to shorten this because it's closer. So right now I've stuck it on there and it was kinking like around here. Don't mind all the mess, I need to wash it all off, but it was kinking right before it would bend to go down to the actual drain, which is right down there. So I did stick the nice little sock on. I'm really happy with that. That fan looks good. I know I keep saying that, but really enjoying it. The oil coolers are in the first gen. I need to go flush them since they've been used, and the oil in them probably is, I don't know, probably 10 years old at this point. So flush them out, get them cleaned, get them back here, work on deciding on where to mount them. I'm not in a huge rush to mount them yet because the drive to Wichita Saturday kind of takes priority, as Jeff is going to help me do bash bar right there and then one on the rear of the car, so that way we can have a hitch on the back to be able to tow the trailer that we're going to bring for Drift Week. The goal is to hopefully get the hitch right out here in the trim piece, so that way we can have it kind of blend in with the black trim that's already existing. But this definitely needs to be running and going tomorrow, so that way I have some time to get the E out of it and get pump into it, so that way we can hopefully hit the road Saturday, because if we don't, then there's definitely going to be some issues with Drift Week and trying to get everything sorted. If I can't go this weekend, I'm probably gonna have to hit up another friend and see if he's gonna be able to make some bash bars. I don't need anything special. I literally just need something that's gonna protect the car and a kind of a low impact, so that way I don't mess up anything. Something to support the bumper, so if I hit anything, it doesn't really destroy the bumper. And for the rear, to get a hitch. I really want to have a hitch so I can have a trailer. So, all right, so I'm actually going to get out of here. I will definitely be working on the car tomorrow and really for the rest of the week. I really wish I could just relax, play some video games, but definitely got some things that really need to get done. So be sure to check out Deatschwerks, Central Speed Supply, Carbyne Design Wheels, and Atkins Rotary. All of them go above and beyond to help me out. And I don't need it. You can throw it away. But they go above and beyond to help me out and help get this thing going. I stopped by Craig and Lori's Central Speed Supply just the other day to get a gasket, and luckily they had it on hand and helped me out with that. So definitely go check them out if you're local in the city. If not, check them out online. They have a website. And then of course Deatschwerks, they help me out so much, almost to the point that almost every line on this car is a Deatschwerks line or pump or something along the lines of it. So yeah, go check them out. Atkins Rotary. Need anything rotary related, I literally get anything and everything I can from them for my engine, for the chassis. Go check them out. I get them stuff for the FC, for the FB. They are doing a wonderful job of supporting the rotary community. And then last but not least is Carbyne Design Wheels. I freaking love these things. They are really good looking wheels and they can really take a beating. This is literally what happened when I came in contact with Jeff, and that's the worst it got. That was a pretty hard hit. So his wheel looked a lot worse than mine. It'll be probably interesting to mount another wheel, but they can definitely take a beating. So this is not the first time I've been rough on them. So anyways, actually, are you wanting to leave, or you like waiting for me to quit talking?
You're good. What? I'm waiting on you for.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Bye.